Hi CITA family, it's Marcy Ellis-Natterbridge, your CITA president here with the April update. I'm in historic Gastown in Vancouver, and this is the steam clock. I thought this is a good time to remind you that it's time to register for conference, it's time to book your hotel rooms, and it's time to start thinking about the nominations for the board. If you're thinking of running for the board, please listen to my upcoming recording with some board members telling you a bit about their experience. And Adele Youngs, our nominating chair, will tell you some of the most common questions that she hears from people considering joining the board. So thanks for tuning in and have a great month.
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really pleased to have my fellow board members here to talk about the upcoming nominating process and to share some of their experience working on the board with CITA. I'll start by introducing Adele Youngs, past president. She's with Live Tour and Travel and 5 years on the board, and currently the chair of the nominating committee. And then I've got Alex Urdata here. He's an active board member since 2020. He's with Viajes A+, and our incoming president. Thanks for joining us, Alex. And Keith Stiff. I'm excited to have Keith here as well. He's an associate board member. He's with Universal Orlando. He's the chair of the Responsible Travel Committee, and he's been on the board since 2021. So thanks for joining me. I'm excited to talk about what's ahead for the nominating committee and your experience working on the board to share with our members. All right, Adele. Yeah, you're welcome. Adele, I'll start with you, I guess, as the chair of the nominating committee. Can you tell us a little more about the process, the timelines? What can members expect coming up in the coming months leading up to conference?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Marcy, and hello, everybody. Yeah, so it's my honor and duty this year, my last year on the CITA board as past president, to be the chair of the nominating committee, which is a group of 5 of us, representative members of the association, and we are responsible for overseeing the elections and making sure that we continue to have amazing board members for CITA. So we are very keen to have anybody interested, please, to raise your hand and nominate yourself or nominate a colleague or friend to be part of our amazing board. And here are the key dates that you need to know. So the nominations are going to open, the call for nominations, on Monday, April 17th, so only a few days from now. And that will be open for 2 weeks. So easy date to remember, they will close on May the 4th. So there's a 2-week span to get those nominations in. All that information will be sent to all members in the next few days. Those nominations will then be reviewed by myself and the nominating committee. We put forward a slate of candidates to the board, and that is approved by May 25th, at which point I will then contact everybody who's nominated to let them know if they're successfully going to be put forward as candidates or not. Then there's a process of putting those names and information and so on to the membership, and the vote will open on August 7th and will close during conference on August 19th. And on the Monday of conference, the 21st, we will announce the elected candidates. So that's the process. It's kind of full on, and we really look forward to hearing from people who are nominated.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. That's wonderful. And I guess, but for people who aren't aware, there are positions on the board for both active members and associate members. So that's important to know. So please take a look at the information as it comes out. What have you seen are some of the more common questions that you're hearing, Adele, from people considering stepping up?
Absolutely. So yeah, we're looking for a vice president candidate, 2 active member candidates, and an associate member candidate. Obviously, those are the positions we are welcoming, many candidates for each of those positions. The questions that have typically been asked are those 2 really. One is around time. How much time commitment does it involve being on the board of CITA? And it varies, but generally speaking, there's a 1-hour board Zoom call every month. There's usually 1 or 2 face-to-face meetings during the year, but usually those are tagged on to perhaps summit or conference, maybe one other. Then there are committees, and kind of it depends on the priorities of the year. how much involvement there is in those. But it's really manageable. It really is. And every person can obviously get involved as much as they want to be involved. The second question I'm often asked is by many members, but often our associate members. Obviously, there are more associate members than there are the active members. And so the question I often get is, I would love to stand, but I don't know that many people and it's election. So how will I get elected? And so I would encourage people, even if you feel that you don't know too many people, to still put your hand up and put yourself forward, because if nothing else, you will meet lots of people as part of the process. You will be in front of the membership, and you will be raising your hand to other leaders in the association saying that you want to be involved, which could lead to other things, even if you're not elected. And also, I would say that it's generally not hugely known, but there is also another position that the board look to fill every year, which is a 2-year at-large position, which is appointed by the incoming president to ensure that there's a representation reflected in the board. And usually that is picked from the non-elected candidates. And that actually is how I got on the board. First of all, I was appointed as the at-large candidate, and then got elected following after that to the board full time. And so was Keith, actually, also in that situation. So it's definitely not all about the election.
Okay, great. Okay, that's good to know. And thank goodness, Keith. I'm happy that you were in a similar position. Let's actually move to you for a minute. What would you say then? Why did you run for the board originally?
As Adele just stated, I originally, ran for the board, and I joined the board as a result of an at-large member, becoming an at-large member for 1 year. At that point, it was a 1-year assignment. And I quickly learned that I needed more time to have an impact in a meaningful way, which was very important to me. As I became more active in CIDA and with the board and with the staff and with the subcommittees, I really saw behind the scenes just the great level of support and impact that CIDA has on its members, on student travel. And I wanted to be more involved in that and have a voice ongoing in this space. So which is really near and dear to me. So that's really why I ran for the board and am now elected for a 3-year term, which I feel 3 years is a great amount of time for me to really have an impact and continue to support the market that I so much care about.
Excellent. Okay, that's great. And what would you say has been the most rewarding? You've been now, around working in the board. What's been one of the most rewarding aspects for you?
I'm actually going to give you 2 if I could. And I would say first and foremost, it's really seeing the hard work and dedication of the CIDA staff led by Carol Ann, and the level of work of the various subcommittees as we really try to support, educate, and engage the members. And I was not aware of just the vast amount of work and dedication that there is within the CIDA organization and within the board and subcommittees. I would also say secondarily, the conference we had in 2022. We were coming off of some very tough years. It was great to see so many people that I hadn't seen face to face in a long period of time. The level of engagement, the level of excitement, I left conference just feeling just even more positive about youth travel and CIDA as an organization than I ever have, and I felt much more engaged in the process. So those are 2 things that have been the most rewarding to me since I've joined the board.
Excellent. Okay, thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
So yeah, looking forward a little bit, I'll have Alex. I'd love to ask you, Alex, a little more about your thoughts as the incoming president. What would you say are some of the future initiatives that board members can, or potential board members can look forward to being involved in? What's
Absolutely,
ahead?
Marcy. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm gonna start saying that I'm very excited to receive the gavel in our next conference in Winnipeg, Manitoba, from you and continue what you and all the past presidents has done for several years. So some of the initiatives that board members should look forward to are the continued expansion of health and safety for our trips, considering, for example, mental health issues, and educating and raising awareness about inclusion, diversity, and sustainability, very important topics. And at this time, Marcy, I am convinced that the directors of the SIDA board must continue to develop and facilitate our membership for international affiliates. That should be one of the most important points.
Thank you, Alex. That sounds exciting. And I hope that for everyone listening, if any of these initiatives or communities are sounding interesting to you, please put your name in the hat. We'd love to have you as part of the board. And yeah, if you have any questions, there is also something to note, which is the SIDA Youth Foundation is also going through their process of nominating their board of trustees. So keep an eye on the communications that are coming out. If you're interested in being involved in the SIDA Youth Foundation, that's also an option. And in this President's Brief, you'll see some contact information for myself, Teresa, who's the chair for the SIDA Youth Foundation, and Adele, the nominating chair. So if you have any questions or interest in getting involved, please reach out. So thank you for being a part of this April President's Brief. And to everyone who's watching, I'll see you next month. And of course, we'll see everyone in Winnipeg coming up in August. Take care. Have a great day.